It's getting cold in this rundown, forgotten gas station at the edge of Barmwich. I'm currently sitting on the counter, eating my third Hershey bar and typing this. My closest friend, Fred Mixum, is sitting on the floor watching me write this while chugging his fourth Dr. Pepper can.
Hey, don't have that in?
No, I'm good. My mom is waiting by the destroyed front door, anxiously hoping Dad or the police will actually call her back. See, if you couldn't already tell, my mom, Fred, and I are stranded at this gas station outside of our town, Barmwich, North Carolina. Well, technically we're not the only ones trapped here. The front desk clerk is also here, just not alive. His body is currently laying behind the counter I'm sitting on, a giant bullet hole in his forehead. Where is the person who shot him? Well, he's also here, also not alive. His body is up against the cracked and broken glass of one of the refrigerators across the store, clawed and bloody face with his empty gun in hand. Now, I know this sounds bad, mostly because it is, but you're all probably thinking the same thing. What in the world happened? Well, let's rewind about an hour ago. It's a Friday night, about to be Saturday morning in a few hours. Fred and I had got picked up by my mom a few minutes ago from Sky Zone Air Trampoline Park. If you don't know what that is, it's basically just a giant indoor trampoline park. Pretty self-explanatory. Anyway, all three of us were feeling pretty hungry and my mom's car needed gas ASAP. The closest gas station, though, was just at the peak of town. We managed to get there without the car stopping and got out. Mom began pumping the car full of gas while Fred and I took her money and ran inside, sweating since we'd been jumping around all night. The guy at the front desk was reading something on his phone and didn't even bother to look up at us, not that he needed to. He was wearing a red short-sleeved collared shirt and khakis. He had a name tag on his heart that read Vince. We passed Vince and ran to the refrigerator full of sodas and Gatorades. I took 2 lime Gatorades while Fred took a party-sized Dr. Pepper. Catching a pattern? I went away from Fred, putting the ice-cold Gatorade on my forehead and enjoying the sensation of the cold freshness burning away my trampoline sweats. Fred then pushed past me.
Yes.
He yelled in excitement. Vince was probably staring at us like we were weird kids, but Fred didn't notice, and even if he did, he probably wouldn't care. Fred ran over to the large rack full of all sorts of colorful chocolates and candies. I just walked over calmly and began wondering what assortment of junk I'll be consuming later tonight. The bell on the top of the front door played its small ring, meaning someone walked inside. Fred and I were too distracted to care, really, though.
You know, I haven't had Mike and Ike's in a few months.
Fred said, talking to himself. He does that sometimes. After picking out some stuff, the two of us turned around and made our way to the front counter, dropping the stuff in front of Vince. We also saw my mom standing over by the coffee machine, probably making something for herself, so she didn't fall asleep on the way home. Vince simply sighed, got up, and began sliding our junk across the scanner. Just then, all 4 of us turned to face the outside as we heard loud screeching coming from tires sliding against the concrete parking lot. It was a dirty black pickup truck. It parked right in front of the doors just before a man in all black with a black hood jumped out, right around the car and towards the door. Fred looked confused, but I knew right away what was about to happen. Clearly, Vince did as well, as he opened the cash register and put his hands up. I grabbed Fred's arm and pulled him as I turned and round and ran to the small candy aisle, making sure Mom was following. We heard the bell jingle at the same time. A gun was being loaded, then the first shot. Fred and I ducked and turned to see the man holding his gun up in the air. "On the ground, assholes! On the ground now!" Vince ducked down while Fred and I did what he asked. So did Mom, to the fact that I could no longer see her. The guy put his arm down and walked over to the cash register and began shoving money in his pants and jacket pockets. This idiot wasn't even smart enough to bring a bag. There's no chance he'll get away with this. Just then, another loud screech noise, clearly from an animal, came from outside. All of us once again looked outside and saw a giant dark creature with sharp claws and pure red eyes flying towards the door with enormous wings.
Oh, God.
Fred muttered with wide eyes as the thief yelled, "Holy crap!" He pointed his gun towards the door, but it was too late as the creature bursted inside, not only destroying the door, but the windows too, essentially just making a giant open gap. All of us fell to the ground as the creature shrieked. Fred laid it on my left arm, crushing it hard, but not breaking it. I leaned up and saw the thief on the ground, scrambling to get up while Mom crawled towards us. Vince stood up just as the thief did the same. The thief turned his head to Vince, and then put the gun to his head. Does this guy really still care about the damn money? The creature, now standing on its small feet, shrieked once again, causing the thief to just once again fall to the floor, right after accidentally shooting Vince straight in the head. I felt a gun and clutched my eyes closed as Mom screamed, or at least I think it was my mother. It sounded very feminine, so it could very well be Fred.
It wasn't me.
Fred just screamed while shoving chocolate in his mouth. Sorry for that quick intermission. Back to what happened. The gunshot clearly angered the creature as it shrieked a final time before doing something that not only created a large gust of wind to pass over, but also got a scream out of someone, most likely the thief since it was muffled. Another smaller gust passed over Fred and I. We then heard glass shatter and a loud thump from behind us, and suddenly, everything went, quiet. After a few seconds, I leaned up and opened my eyes, sliding my arm out from under Fred. I saw a faint outline of a giant creature with wings flying away above the large trees in the woods across the road. Fred did the same as me, eventually Mom. We all stood before Mom screamed at something behind us. Fred and I turned to see what and saw the thief's body, clawed and bloody, the hood torn off. Fred turned and ran outside into the parking lot before falling to the ground and throwing up. I simply turned around and walked to where the door would have been. Be surprised all you want, but this isn't my first time seeing a dead body, or multiple dead bodies. There was a whole haunted house thing a while back. This was a whole other story for another time. Flash forward an hour later, and here we are, waiting for the police to show up. They must have not taken us seriously enough, even for Barmwich. This sounds pretty bizarre. We'll basically just hold down the fort here until someone arrives. Before I go, I want to say thank you for all the people who are reading and supporting my blog. It means a whole lot. Anyways, I'll be off to another perilous adventure. See you soon.